Hey everyone, it's the Detective back again with another LEGO Star Wars video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a really old and rare Clone Army Customs figure. Yes, this figure right here is old CAC. This is none other than Commando Dusk, and believe it or not, it was actually designed by Andrew himself from AV Figures back in 2011. This is likely the only AV and CAC collab of sorts that has and probably ever will happen, so it's super cool not only to have a figure from this time period, 2012, but the fact that it was designed by AV is even cooler. The first old CAC Commandos used modified Phase 1 open visor helmets, and they also had some custom-made backpacks, which were really cool for the time. And they were also very expensive just because of those, custom pieces, along with those decals, which are just very complex and very extensive. And, of course, Tyler did make the Delta Squad along with a couple others. But then, to accompany the Clone Wars show, animated-style versions of the Commandos were released later on, using a finless version of the Phase 1 Clone Wars helmet with decals for the visor rather than the open visor from that, original Phase 1 helmet. And similarly to those open visor figures, Delta Squad was released and a couple other Commandos were released as well. And then, of course, we got this Shadow Squad consisting of Dusk, which is this figure, Etch, Shade, and Hex. And, of course, these were designed by AV. To my knowledge as well, these were the only old CAC Commandos to use decaled versions of the Aerialite Commando helmet, which is pretty cool. There were a couple UV printed Commandos which did use the Aerialite helmet, however, the helmets were printed as well, and they weren't decaled like this one is. So let's actually take a look at the figure. The first thing you'll notice is, of course, we have this white and black color scheme all around it. It looks overall really good. Now, sadly, in some areas, such as the torso, the legs, and then the arms, and then also the back, the UV print is actually starting to fade a little bit. And that's just a common problem with the older UV prints. It was generally more durable than decals, but at the same time, just the general consistency of the prints was not always, top notch. And some of them came out of the UV printer like that. Some of them came out even perfect, but I guess that this one was just a victim of a bad print specifically. Nonetheless, it is still a very nice looking figure. Easily the highlight is that decaled helmet. It definitely looks better than those, Phase 1 modified helmet Commandos, in my opinion. You can see on the top, we got this black stripe going across, and when we rotate the figure around, I love seeing that decaled helmet. And as I mentioned earlier, sadly, the arms just have, again, that really kind of grainy, faded-looking UV print, and, it's just a thing from its time, I guess. I'm trying to be as careful as possible. With these old CAC figures, you really want to grab them most of the time from the, the feet or the backs of the legs, from the sides of the legs like this, or just from the hands, because if you press hard on these guys with your fingers, then you could actually rub off the print, which is really bad, so just be careful with that, I guess. It's honestly just such a cool figure. There isn't even this face print underneath, nor a Clone Wars style head, just a plain black head, but I gotta say, it's really just such a nice looking figure, and I'm just so glad to have been able to purchase this and have this guy in my collection. So here is Commando Dusk next to my 180 printed Sev. Of course, the Sev here uses the modern, CAC Commando helmet. Just the fact that, this Sev was made, I guess, 5 years or so after this Dusk was made. It's really quite cool just to see the general growth of CAC. And once again, this is an AV design. Again, it's just so cool to see these two together and to compare and contrast the old CAC versus the new CAC. So guys, what do you think of the old CAC Commando Dusk? This is honestly such a cool figure. I also wanted to hear your feedback, not only on the figure, but on the editing style. I really put a lot of work into this video, especially with that whole thing where I did talk about the different versions of the old CAC Commandos. So please let me know in the comments or on my Instagram how I did with this review. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm the Detective, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.